Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Premiership Quarter. Today, I will be doing my Brisbane Lions season prediction, and I'll be talking about their best 23, a couple of their awards, including Most Improved, Best and Fairest, and who kicks the most goals for them, and a bit about their off-season changes and where I have them finishing on the ladder. So, to start with, I'm going to be talking about their best 23, my prediction for it at least. To start with, their key backs, I've got Andrews and Payne. It was unfortunate that they lost Adams to retirement due to concussion. I think he had it locked down before Payne at the start of last season. But Andrews is, I think, the best key defender in the league. He's my lock for the All Australian position. And Payne showed that he's really capable of being that second defender where he can take the best or second best key forward and help Andrews lock them down so Andrews can roam. And then as the interceptor medium defender, I've got Dodie. Now, this is regarding injury. I've got him and Ashcroft in the team because this is when healthy. I think he's a great pickup. He's exactly what they need. I don't think that either of their other options that they had in Gardner or Leicester will be playing. And obviously, when he's not fit, they will be. But when he is healthy, I think he is quite clearly better than them. I've got Starcevic as their lockdown, who is really, really good. I think is quite untalked about in terms of how good he is for their success outside of Brisbane in the media. And then their two halfback flankers are Coleman and McKenna. Coleman obviously had the great grand final performance. Had they sneaked the win, I think he probably would have gotten the Norm Smith, which is great for such a young player, great for his confidence, and I think that'll help him have a great season. And then McKenna, obviously, just great speed and great kicking skills, been really important for them last year. Now, their two wingers are McCluggage and Berry. I think Berry is just put him on someone and he'll do a job. He's not going to be too flashy every game, but he's not going to have bad games per se. He'll just do the job you need him to do. Then they've got Dunkley in the middle with McInerney, Neal, and Ashcroft as your midfield. McInerney's just a great ruckman. The way he uses his hands is just really weird at times, but it works for them. Obviously, the big handballs that he just knocks forward. He's very lanky and he's able to use that over other ruckmen. And then you've got Neal, obviously, Brownlow medal winner. And then Ashcroft, also injured, similar to Dodie, come back around the bye-ish. And I think he can be a real boost for them. Someone who will be his replacement early. I think Lions might come in, or they can just play McCluggage in the middle from the get-go and hope he's able to take that role and grab it by the scruff of the neck. Their forwards, I've got Danaher and Hipwood. Nothing needs to change there. I don't think Brandon Ryan gets in. I don't think they liked having the three tools in their forward line. They clearly like the pace with their elite smalls. Speaking of, you've got Cameron, McCarthy, Bailey. They're the best mosquito fleet in the competition. They showed how dangerous they can be. And then they've got Rayner as that more medium tall. He can play in the midfield at times, but I think he should be playing more as that third tall forward. He can use his jump. He's got, at times, good kick. He needs to work on his kicking at goals, but he can be, if he breaks out, he can take them that next step up the ladder and hopefully to a premiership. On their bench, I've got Wilmot. He can basically start over Coleman or McKenna, but he's still young. Just hope for linear progression with him. Same with Fletcher on the wing. If McCluggage goes into the midfield, then he'll probably start on the wing in replacement for him. And then Dev Robertson can just take his top off. Dane Zorko, just experienced leader. I think they need it in their team. He showed he can be very important to them. and it's important he doesn't do anything stupid to get suspended. And then their sub Archie, he can just be played anyway if they need it. To go over their best and fairest, I've got Harris Andrews winning it. As I said, he's the best key defender in my opinion in the competition, and I do believe he took it out last year, and I think he'll do it again. Second, I've got McCluggage. I think he'll probably make the All Australian team. Definitely the 44 man, but he'll be pushing for that wing spot over someone like Dacos and Goulden. And then I've got Keaton Coleman breaking out into that halfback, out like superstar caliber level. I don't think he'd be on the caliber of a Sinclair or a Dacos, but he's like just below that, I think, if he really breaks out. Most goals, Charlie Cameron. He's just a super small. Play him in the goal square. If he takes his opponent upfield, he'll burn him on the way back. He can take a mark. He snaps it from the pockets. Danaher, I've got second. I think he was pretty close to making the Australian last year, but I think this year he'll just. I think it's consistency for him. He's found it last year. If he can clean up slightly some of the errors with his goal kicking, then he can get even better and potentially make it. But I just think that's who he is. So I've got him second, and then third I've got Hipwood. I don't think he's necessarily going to be close to that 44 man, but if he can get close to like 45, 50 goals, just be consistent throughout the year. Again, if he can kick accurately, it helps always. And then I've got for their most improved, Coleman, obviously, if I have him third in their best and fairest, and breaking into that caliber, then he's their most improved. I don't think there's anyone else really that, because they're either too young or already in their prime. Second, I've got McCluggage. This is sort of like not actual player improvement, but improvement to get into the All Australian team, because I do think he'll probably be top three wingers. It's him, Goulden, and Dacos, I think, for the season. And then Zach Bailey, I've got as my other third, so he'll be third. If he's able to take the confidence that he got from that grand final performance and deliver that basically every week, then he could potentially snag an All Australian 44 man. Like Brisbane could have 8 44 man selections at the end of the season. They've got such a talented roster, and it's consistent talent throughout. It's not simply in the spine. They've got players like Dodie, Berry, Bailey, McCarthy. They've got players that do what they need to do and help push the team forward, which is really impressive for them. So yeah, that's what I think will happening. What I think will happen for them in terms of their starting 23 in awards. Now, if we were to talk about where I have them finishing in the ladder, I have them first. I think they'll win almost 20 games. I don't think they'll fall off after the grand final loss. It's really heartbreaking, but I think they can do what Hawthorn did in 2013. Obviously lost it to Sydney in 2012 with the Malcheski goal. I don't think there's a lot dissimilar with the performances from either team. And I just think when the young guns come back, they'll be able to propel them from possible top 4 contention into top of the ladder. I think they'll be able to get that home prelim final. And in my prediction, it would be against Sydney, who would finish 4th, and it'd be up at the Gabba. If to talk about that matchup, it would be it'd be quite good for them, because I think with only McCartan as the real key pillar down back for Sydney, I think either Hipwood or Danaher would kick 5 almost, because I don't think Hamling or Rampy would be able to control them in the air. And then their smalls as well could really get to business. Someone like Bailey or McCarthy, I think, could kick 3 or 4 if that were to happen. The midfield battle would be a really good one. I think if Grundy has a good season, then him and McInerney, it'd be a really interesting um, matchup because Grundy's very good around the ground. McInerney really dominates in the hitouts. So that'd be quite interesting. And then the midfield, you'd have Neil and Gould versus Goulden. You'd have Ashcroft versus Mills. You'd have Dunkley versus Warner. It'd be a really great battle. And then I think Swans' forward line could match up quite well against the fullbacks of the Lions, with Andrews on probably McDonald, Payne on McLean, and then Dodie on Amadi. And then I think it'd be a really good matchup between Starcevic and either Papley or Heaney. And then it'd probably be Coleman on the other of the two. And then I think McKenna would take Hayward because he'd be able to go with him in the air a bit more than Coleman would. I also think if it's McCluggage on the wing once Ashcroft gets back, maybe Goulden is still on the wing, then with Adams in the midfield, then that'd be one of the best wing battles in the league you could possibly ask for. So I would still have Brisbane winning, which would put them back into the qualifying finals. Dan, did I say prelim? I was talking about mixed up prelim and qualifying. Qualifying would be against Sydney, and then they have the prelim again at home, which would, I think, set them up perfectly for another grand final appearance, where I think no matter who they play, they would be considered favourites, even if it's against a Collingwood or a Carlton, who would have the home ground at the MCG. So I think Brisbane just need to set themselves straight, understand that there's still a lot to do. I don't think they've got their team set. I think they can make a couple changes. Someone like Lyons has a good season. He can come in for someone like Jared Berry. So I think they'll still be really good, and they should be aiming for another top 2 home qualifying final spot. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and drop your thoughts on Brisbane and the 2024 season in the comments below. Thanks.